So it's been a while since I've made a video. The only thing I really have to talk about is my next project, which is going to be these two 12-inch PowerBook G4s. They both work, but pretty soon one of them's not going to work. This, I believe, is the very last model. Let me see if it's still got a little bit of juice left in it. Nope. Oh, it does. Okay. So this, I believe, is the very last model with a 1.5 gigahertz G4 processor. And it's also running a gig and a half of RAM, and it's got a 32 gig SSD, 32 gigs of flash storage. It's not super fast, but it's definitely faster than the 4800 RPM drive that was in here before. So this is a good machine. It has one problem though, it will not charge the battery. So based on research, I believe it's the DC inboard. Pull up some specs real quick. 1.5 gigahertz G4, 1.25 gigabytes of DDR RAM. See, it's pretty snappy, and I like it a lot actually. PowerBook 6.8, 12-inch, small screen. Battery holds a reasonable charge. It's a very low cycle battery actually, and it's got the it's got the scrolling trackpad. Let's see if I can find cycle count. Cycle count 80. So that's that one. This one, shut this down. This one is pretty sad. This one's, I believe, a 6.4. The keyboard got really messed up in the process. We tried to put the SSD into here. The keyboard got really badly messed up in the process. So then this was acquired as a 4 parts, and it wound up working beautifully aside from not charging the battery. This one does charge the battery, however. So let me switch out the batteries real quick. So I also just remembered the original specs are shown in here. This is the spec of this one: 1.5 gigahertz, 512 megabytes of RAM, 60 gig drive, combo, airport, Bluetooth. This one's got airport and Bluetooth, so that makes this one the best. And there's this one over here, which is an older model. So this is a 1.33 gigahertz, 1.256 gigs of RAM, 60 gig drive, super drive. This one's got a super drive. This one's got a combo drive. And this one's got airport. This one's got airport and Bluetooth. This one. So we took the RAM out of this one. So here, let me just boot it up. I never know how to put in the batteries correctly for these. So we're gonna make a Frankenstein PowerBook G4 12-inch. This one I can actually get into no problem. There's no password on this, so this one has the original this one has a 4800 RPM drive from this machine in here. We just did a drive swap. This one's running Leopard. This one's running Tiger. So we're gonna let this one boot up, and then I'll go through the specs of this one real quick, and then we're gonna shut it down and put it under, because we're gonna be taking the super drive and the DC inboard, which is about right over here, which is a lot of disassembly. And we're going to be transplanting it into this one, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that everything will go okay, and we'll have like the ultimate PowerBook G4 12-inch. Because I like this machine a lot. I like this form factor, even though it's a little thick, but I like the form factor. So there's some weird people on here. But I'll be right back as soon as it's done booting up. You hear that drive clicking? It's booted. I've gone ahead and changed the wallpaper and moved all the desktop items into this folder that says Shelby's Pictures for the sake of privacy. So this is what's left of this one. Trackpad works okay, but it's not a scrolling trackpad. Let's just go into about this Mac real quick. You can see it's only got 256 megabytes of 0x00000 RAM. I'm gonna take it that that's integrated RAM. and it's got the 1.33 gigahertz PowerPook G4 processor. You could tell this was upgraded from Tiger because it has the little link right here and there's no applications folder, so this is interesting. I have no idea who Shelby is, but like I said, the hard drive that's in this one came from this one. So this was the one that was bought on eBay, listed as for parts or not working, and turned out to work pretty much perfectly. This one has the same GeForce FX Go 5200 as this one. And if we go to hardware, this is a PowerBook G4. So you guys are curious on the exact specs, this is it. Now what I'm really curious about is Airport Extreme. Doesn't tell me a whole lot. Not too worried about one being better than the other, really. So yeah, we're gonna start by fully disassembling this one and grabbing what we need from it. We'll move on to that one. So after this one will only be able to run off power. This one will only either run off power or run off battery. It will not charge battery. This one charges the battery, runs off power, runs off battery, no problem. All right, so let's get started. So I'm starting to get into the 6.4 a little bit. There's a lot of screws and there's weird yellow tape everywhere. Don't know what that's for. I took the two off that were over by here. This screw is not wanting it. The screw right here is not wanting to come out. That's okay, it'll come out. And I'm looking at the instructions on this, I believe, late '09 unibody MacBook. This is going to get its own video at some point once I get a new bottom for it. Right now it's just using metal with some pretty silly hot glue stands, but yep, I'm going to keep working on this first one and get the parts that I need and then put it back together. So I got the heatsink up and I find it interesting that right here we've got a Motorola processor. And yeah, this thermal paste is definitely not any good, so I don't know if I'm going to necessarily reapply it yet, but underneath this thermal pad, which I find interesting that they use the thermal pad in here, underneath this thermal pad, if I can get it up again, is a chip from a G system, so I don't know if this is the chipset, the processor, or what. I would assume this is the processor, but who knows. And then you can see poking out over here the NVIDIA graphics card. So we're getting there, slowly but surely. So it just now occurred to me that this DC in board could also be another source of failure in the other PowerBook G4 over there. So I'm gonna not only replace this board, also the DC in, and gonna put this super drive into there too. So I'm getting there. Here's the DC in board. I had a heck of a time getting it out. I didn't even realize there were pins at the bottom. Well, I didn't think. So I'm gonna mark this as 6,4 with a Sharpie right over here in the plastic bit, so I know that this is the good one. Entire logic board of the 12-inch PowerBook G4. Now this is honestly pretty impressive. So here's a better look at the graphics chip. Here's that mysterious Motorola processor. Something over here which has thermal pads applied to it. And then this is what I assume to be the built-in 256 megs of RAM. Here's some of the I/O. And we're getting pretty close to our goal here. There's a Broadcom chip right there. Let me see if there's anything interesting. I'm not having fun yet, that's for sure. All of that for this little board, but it's been acquired, so now I'm going to put it back to the best of my abilities, and I'm taking the DC to DC board also. So yeah, time to put this one back and then start on the other one. So I decided I'd put the first one away. I decided I wasn't going to put it all the way back together, but now I'm starting to work on the second one. I'm gonna try the DC to DC board first. If that doesn't work, I'm probably gonna be a little upset. But yeah, it's all right inside. It's interesting to say the least, but it's not my favorite computer to work on. Looks like this one's got Samsung RAM soldered. Interesting. So So I got this new DC in board and or this DC to DC board, and go from there. So before I attempt to test the new DC to DC board, as you can see, it's in here. Here's a closer look at the SSD I'm using in here. It's a King spec 2.5 inch parallel ATA 32 gigabyte. Alright, so here's the moment of truth. The new DC in board is, or the DC to DC board is in, and the battery's in, and I'm going to connect the charger and hope to God that nothing lights on fire. Oof. Oh, hey, that's good. That's a good sign. That is a very, very good sign. Actually, I'm going to turn the device. I'm going to turn the PowerBook on now, and we're going to double check, because I've gotten this orange light before. We're going to, oh, that's not good. Going to double check and make sure that OS 10 sees the battery as charging. So far, that's concerning to me. Although it could just be something with this charger. I don't even know anymore. Charger is unplugged. Going to plug the charger in. Light is amber on the adapter, and it's still showing that it's just plugged in. Huh. Battery's still not charging. Okay. So I'm going to do a oh, wait. The battery's charging. Oh, thank God. Okay. I was getting a little concerned for a second. Okay, so that is a very good sign that OS 10 is seeing that it's charging. So what we're going to do now is we're going to unplug it, get it fully reassembled, and once I get the keyboard and stuff in, I'm going to do a PMU reset, so I'll be right back. So the operation was a complete success, and as you can see, everything works well, and it's in good working condition, and I can't wait to get lots of use out of this. Until my next project, I'll see you guys later.